Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Para Brahma Tasmai Shri Guru Namah. Ram Ram to everybody joining this session. We are at Transcendental Knowledge, Sankhya Yoga, Chapter 2, shrimadbhagwat Geeta. So Arjun asked, स्थित प्रज्ञस्य का भाषा समाधिस्थस्य केशव स्थिति किम प्रभाषेत किमासीत प्रजेत किम. So what is the nature and stature of the person who is having steady intellect, so who is well set in situated in divine. So the person who is situated in divine and has a steady intellect, that it is not fluctuated with the day-to-day condition. How that person behaves. स्थित प्रज्ञ व्यक्ति किस प्रकार से व्यवहार करता है, कैसे उठता है, कैसे बैठता है. How the person having steady intellect sits, how he stands, how he walks. So such kind of question is put by Parth, that is Arjuna. Lord Krishna is answering for it, that verse 2.55. Shri Bhagwan was Rajahati yada kaman sarvan parth manogatan atmanyevatmana tushta sthita pragyastadochyate. Rajahati yada kaman. So the person, when discards all of its selfish desires, kaman, prajahati yada kaman, when it renounces all of its desires, which are taking birth from mind, that all desires has been abnegated, it is dejected, it is renounced, it is rejected. So the person when rejects, prajahati yada kaman sarvan parth manogatan. O Parth, O the son of Pratha, O Arjun, when the person renounces all of its desires which are originating manogatan from mind, जब मन से उत्पन्न होने वाली अपनी सभी कामनाओं का व्यक्ति परित्याग कर देता है, आत्मनेव आत्मना तुष्टा, and it is self satisfied with soul, that is atmanev atmana tushta. So he is only satiated by its purified mind, because the soul needs only the super soul. There is nothing of the worldly object can satisfy it. So the person is satisfied, self-contained within itself. Atmanyevatmana tushta sthit pragya tadochyate. Sthit pragya tat uchyate. Then that person is called steady intellect, of steady intellect. Then that person, when we are not fluctuated, when we do not want anything, we renounce everything. Otherwise, in worldly manner, we are wanting this, we are wanting house, we want that our sons and daughters may be well established. Though we do every work for them, but there is no any inner desire of anything that they may get this, they may. Everything is left to God. It is the kind of alliteration. It is the kind of offering or surrender at the feet of God. That what you desire, that you please carry on, and I am at your feet. I myself surrender at your feet. So the person is not having any kind of desire. He has nothing to do, nothing to take from the worldly materials. So that person renounces, rejects everything originating from world. Though that person lives in this world, though that person behaves like other persons, but not getting fluctuated. If something changes, something reverses, the condition is adverse, then also that person is self-sustained, self-contained, and is not affected by those things. So that person then is called of steady intellect. So the literal meaning of this verse is that the blessed said, that is the Lord Krishna says, O Parth, when one fully renounces all the desires that have entered the mind and remains satisfied in self alone by self, then he is called a man of steady wisdom. Shri Krishna begins answering Arjun's question that and continues till the end of chapter. This there is not only single feature that how the sthit pragya behave, there are other many features also, which will be explained by Shri Krishna one by one. So the first feature is that the person is not having any kind of desire originating from mind. So each fragment is naturally drawn towards its own, just as a piece of stone is drawn by the force of gravitation. If we throw a stone or just release a stone, that falls toward, in the similar manner, our soul is getting attracted, naturally drawn to super soul. So what we have to take, what we have to do or concern with these material things, so it is naturally drawn. So we should listen the demand of our soul and not go for these lower level organs like mind and intellect. So individual soul is fragment of God who is in finite bliss. As the soul is has to get attracted towards God. When it strives to relish the bliss of soul from God, it is called divine love. That is called a transcendental tool. So it is when our transcendental tool starts, then we slowly renounce these worldly things. So this is a sign how we can become a siddha, how we are tending towards that condition. Now the next verse is 2.56. दुखेष्वनुद्विग्नमनाः सुखेषु विगतस्पृहा वीतराग भय क्रोधा स्थितधीर्मुनिरुच्यते. दुखेषु unuddvigna manah. So in when we are in stress, when we are in miseries, in grief, then we are not getting fluctuated. Unuddvigna mana, then our mind should not get fluctuated. So such is the condition of steady intellect. So amidst miseries, the person whose mind is undisturbed, though the person sees, though the person observes that these miseries are around us, adversities are around us, but that person is not getting disturbed. He knows that these are the hard questions or tough questions which are given in syllabus, and it bears some extra marks. If we pass them successfully, then we will be at high ranks. That person is not seeking for simple questions. If hard questions comes, tough questions comes, then it has extra merits, extra prizes. So the person embraces those conditions as well, and also knows well that in this tour, if we want our speedy forwarding towards God is so, if we want a speedy pace to God, then we have to pass through these conditions, and happily we have to pass. Because without passing them, without qualifying these conditions, we cannot meet to God. So whatever adversities comes, so amidst miseries, the person's mind remains undisturbed. दुखेषु अनउद्विग्न मनः, दुखों में उसका मन उद्विग्न नहीं होता, उद्वेग से नहीं भरता. सुखेषु विगत स्पृहा, so the person is not having any cravings for happiness. That is the comfort, pleasure, amenities and leisure. So that person सुखों में वो स्पृहा रहित होता है, विगत स्पृहा, उसका कोई लगाव नहीं होता. दुखों में उद्विग्न नहीं होता. Amidst miseries, he is not getting disturbed, and amidst happiness or leisures, that person is not having any attachment. Veet rag bhay krodha. That means that person is weak. It is free from rag, attachment. He is neither having attachment to miseries or happiness. That person not opts between dualities. What does it mean by dualities? That is the things which are happening in this world and looks in contrast. Though these are having same equilibrium central point, and these are the two ends of single thread. But in adversities, the steady intellect person prefer to remain at center. जैसे किसी धागे के दो सिरे हों, एक तरफ सुख और एक तरफ दुख हो, तो स्थित प्रज्ञ व्यक्ति मध्य में स्थित होता है। वह दोनों को अनुमान करता है, भासता तो है, परंतु दोनों में विचलित नहीं होता, दोनों से समान दूरी पर स्थित होता है। So वीत राग भय क्रोधा, that person is free from attachment. Neither he is attached to misery and nor he is attached to happiness. He is not opting any of this. Neither he is attached to win nor losses. Neither he is attached the profit and neither towards loss. So any of the dualities, he is not preferring any of them. So with rag, he is free from rag, attachment. And also attachment is towards the family members. He is also not attached to son, daughters, husband, wives, or any of the family members, though he is performing all the duties towards them, but he is not having any kind of physical or mental attachment. That person knows that this intermingling is due to guna guneshu vartante. Various virtues are ultimately intermingling with each other and nothing more than that. And the person who is sthit pragya is gunati, becomes gunati. That is away from, that is higher from these Trigunya. That means Satguna, Rajguna, and Tamoguna. So he is free from all this. He is beyond this. So the person is Vitrag, free from attachment, by not having any kind of fear of losing anything. If person is the person who is having something, then that person is also having a fear to lose. But the person who is of steady intellect knows that we are the sparks of super soul. So, and we are having hierarchical happiness which is coming from super soul. So what we can lose? We have nothing to lose because we are spark of, हम परमात्मन के कण हैं, तो अणु सत्य, अणुचित और अणु आनंद है. We are sparks. So within ourselves, happiness is there. Within ourselves, truth is there. Within ourselves, Sat Chit, the energy level is also there. So there is nothing to lose. So why to fear? Anything which cannot be, which is everlasting, how it can die? So body can die, but we cannot die because our soul is everlasting and ultimately it will submerge into super soul. So that person is free from attachment, free from any kind of fear, and free from krodh, anger. Why the anger or agitation emerges or taking birth? When any of our preconceived ideas are not working, we have some planning and that planning is not working. So at that time, we feel anger. That person, due to that person, our planning is not happening. Now we will see him. So such kind of anger is not there because that person knows that every message, every condition is harbinger of our master. And that person equally embraces all the condition without measuring that it is for our worldly benefit or not, because he has no concern with the worldly things. दुनिया में हूँ, दुनिया का तलबगार नहीं हूँ, और बाजार से गुजरा हूँ पर खरीदार नहीं हूँ. So that person is nothing to do with worldly things. वीत राग भय क्रोधा स्थित ही मुनि रुच्यते. That enlightened स्थित ही enlightened person is called sage in this manner. So the person who is having all these features, sthiti, that person, that sage is called enlightened. The literal meaning is this: that monk is called a man of steady wisdom when his mind is unperturbed in a sorrow. So the person who is not perturbed, not fluctuated, he is free from longings of delight and has gone beyond attachment, fear, and anger. It's called of steady intellect. In this verse, Sri Krishna describes the sages of steady wisdom as Vitrag, Vitbhay, and Vitkrodha. That means Vitrag, that is craving for pleasure. So that person is free from craving for pleasure. Veet bhai, that free from fear, and veet krodha, that is devoid of anger. So enlightened person does not allow the mind to harbor the material fatalities of lust, anger, greed, envy. So that person is not harboring these. So जो व्यक्ति स्थित प्रज्ञ होता है वो इनको अपने में पलने पोसने नहीं देता, इनकी ओर विचार भी नहीं करता, ध्यान भी नहीं देता, और परमात्मा की भक्ति में लगा रहता है. If one permits the mind to brood over miseries, then the contemplation on the divine ceases and the mind is dragged down from transcendental level. ऐसी स्थिति में उसका ज्ञान जो उच्च स्तरों से धीरे धीरे गिर जाता है. यदि हम अपने मन के कहे पर चलते हैं, if we are moving treading towards the path whatever our mind says, because mind has its own whim and fancies, it wants to go here, after sometimes there, it is a fluctuating, its nature is fluctuation only. So the person who is going or guided by the mind, so that person in that case cannot travel to transcendental knowledge, cannot go to meditation, cannot go to spiritual path at a good pace. So that sthit pragya is not concerned with any kind of attachment which are originating from mind. So here mind is dragged down from the transcendental knowledge. The process of torture works in the same manner. More we are getting tortured. At certain times, we are remembering whatever happened in our past. So that torture is more for us than the present torture. That the Buddhists are knowing very well that they simply leave whatever has happened the past. So they were not feeling the torture themselves. It is all happens to us. हम पूर्वाग्रहों से ग्रसित हैं. जो पहले हमारे साथ गलत हो गया है, हम उस पर अभी भी दुखी होते रहते हैं. वो मानसिक वेदना हमारे अंदर रहती है. जबकि जो प्रश्न कर लिए गए हैं, हल हो गए हैं, तो उनको हमें वहीं छोड़ देना चाहिए. और यदि उनकी फिर से पुनरावृत्ति भी होती है तो हमें उसी शिद्दत के साथ, with that vigorosity, we have to face them and with happiness. Because once we have solved the problem, then what is problem again? We can solve happily. So if we are prepared well, if we are a good student, then whatever questions are given to us by our teacher, that we embrace and we will solve it happily, because it is for our future, for our progress. Then why to go for fear? Why to go for such things, miseries? We should not fall prey of miseries. Next verse is 2.57. या सर्वत्रानभिस्नेहः तत्तत्प्राप्य शुभाशुभम् नाभिनन्दति न द्वेष्टि तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता. यह सर्वत्र unabhisneha, the person who in all condition, sarvatra, in all condition, unabhisneha is unattached. सभी परिस्थितियों में जो व्यक्ति अनअटैच्ड, उनसे राग रहित, आसक्ति रहित रहता है, यह सर्वत्र अनअभिस्नेह, तत् तत् प्राप्य शुभाशुभम शुभ अशुभम. So whatever, whenever it comes, shubh or ashubh, that is good or evil, whatever comes, so that person remains unaffected, unattached to that. Na abhinandati na dveshti. If good comes, then that person, it is not that abhinandati, get delighted in good has come. Na dveshti. If evil comes, then that person nor reject it. Why the evil has come? It should not come. Such kind of tendency is not in sthiti intellect. Na abhinandati na dveshti. Tasya pragya pratisthita. The gist is that for everything, whatever is happening, whenever it is happening, that person is unabhisneha, that person is unattached. Even that person is having no concern. Like if line is drawn on a water, so as soon as it is drawn, it disappears. It is lost. In the similar manner, when the worldly person is behaving, intermingling with sthit pragya, so they cannot leave any trace to that person. Like on mirror, if some reflections are coming and rebouncing back, so after the reflecting back, nothing is sticking on mirror. In the similar manner, the sthit pragya person is like a mirror. The conditions come and go, but cannot affect. Nothing is hidden inside mirror, or that mirror is not having anything. It is showing whatever is coming to it only. So it's unabhisneha. The steady intellect is free from any attachment. Subh ashubham, whatever comes, whenever comes, good or evil. Na abhinandati na dveshti, neither he praises nor he rejects. Tasya pragya pratisthita, that person's intellect is very well established in its place. So that means uh, the intellect is very well established, and mind cannot rule over the body. It is the intellect which is ruling over the body. That's why it is known as buddhi yoga. So that is buddhi yoga is the same thing, that we are guided by our intellect, that higher level of energy, and not by mind. That's why, because mind is only having perusal to different things, the worldly things. However, that intellect guides us to God. So, the same has been stated here. The literal meaning of this verse is the wisdom of that person remain established who has not attached for anything anywhere, who neither welcomes nor rejects anything, whatever good or bad, when it comes across it. So that person has no kind of fear, no worry, no any kind of complaint that it is coming, no delight. Only he is uh, intermingling with the situations but unaffected. Yada sanharite chayam. So next verse is 2.58. Yada samharite chayam kurmonganiv sarvasha indriyani indriyarthebhya tasya pragya pratishtita. Yada sanharite chayam kurmonganiv sarvasa, like kurm anganiv, that means like tortoise, its all limbs sanharite. So that is Sangharate Chayam. So the like tortoise pulls inside all of its limb within its calcareous body, within its the hard substance. So in the similar manner, the sthit pragya has no of its energy going and seeking, no of its senses are searching of any material things. All senses are working along with intellect. हमारी सभी ज्ञानेंद्रियां और हमारा मन बुद्धि के कहे पर होते हैं, और बुद्धि जहां ले चलती है वहीं पर मन भी चल पड़ता है, हमारी इंद्रियां भी चल पड़ती। मन तेरा मंदिर, आंखें दिया बाती, होठों की है तालियां, बोल फूल पाती, रोम रोम जिह्वा तेरा नाम पुकारती, आरती हो मैया आरती। So everything, आंखें दिया बाती, so our eyes are burning for that delight only. मन तेरा मंदिर, आंखें दिया बाती, होठों की है तालियां, the lips are clapping for your praise only. So our body, our limbs, our senses, our mind, everything seeks for that Lord, that is super smooth. Because our intellect, it has higher power and it is centralized. Our all energy is centralized to intellect. So it well guides and takes control over our lower nature and all senses. Yada sangharte chayam, like कछुआ अपने सभी अंगों को जिस प्रकार से अपने भीतर समेट लेता है, इंद्रियाणी इंद्रियार्थेभ्यः, and senses indriyarthebhya, indriyani, these are our indriya, these are our senses, eyes, nose, skin, mouth, tongue. So these are indriyani, indriyarthebhya, whatever are its stimulis, its senses, whatever are its feeding objects. So from that they draw it back within our body and ultimately offer surrender to intellect. So our all senses surrender to intellect. You are going right and I am with you. I am under you. Please use us to seek Lord. हमें भी उपयोग में ले लो उस ईश्वर को पाने के लिए। इंद्रियां अपने आहार से स्वयं को अलग कर लेती हैं। इंद्रियाणि इंद्रियार्थेभ्यः तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता, that person's divine wisdom is well situated. So our sister Geeta Verma ji will recite a bhajan for us.
हाँ बहन नहीं जुड़ी है तो भजन आप
गीता
ही
जायसवाल जी गाएंगी? गीता जायसवाल जी से पूछ लीजिए।
गीता जायसवाल जी का वीडियो नहीं खुला हुआ है।
अच्छा ठीक है। श्री राम प्रभु की ज्योति समाई मुझ में, रोम रोम में रमते राम। प्रभु की ज्योति समाई मुझ में, रोम रोम में रमते राम। तुझ में मुझ में भेद है इतना, तुम सूरज तो मैं हूँ भां, तुम चंदा मैं रूप चांदनी, तुम चंदा मैं रूप चांदनी, तुम अग्नि मेरा चिंगीना, तुम हो माता मैं सुत तेरा, खेल कूद कर करता को राम। भागूं सरकूं बाह पकड़ कर, भागूं सरकूं बाह पकड़ कर, गोद चूमे निष्काम, हे गोद चूमे निष्काम। प्रेम पयो निधि माता सुत, प्रेम पयो निधि माता हो सुत। चेतन को क्यों घेरे काम, चेतन को क्यों घेरे काम। दीन दुखी हो बनारसी, दीन दुखी हो बनारसी। काम क्रोध का हुआ गुलाम, काम क्रोध का हुआ गुलाम। याद दिला दो उस सत्ता की, याद दिला दो उस सत्ता की, बसी जो मुझ में चिर अभिराम, बसी जो मुझ में चिर अभिराम। अब प्रसाद विश्राम करो चल, अब प्रसाद विश्राम करो चल। राम राम जपते हरि धाम, राम राम जपते हरि धाम। प्रभु की ज्योति समाई मुझ में, रोम रोम में रमते। सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामयः, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। न तोऽहं कामये राज्यं, न स्वर्गं न पुनर्भवं, कामये दुःखतप्तानां प्राणिनामार्तनाशनम्। उदिष्टं भवतु गोविन्द, उदिष्टं भवतु गोविन्द, नतमदिष्टं पाहि मां रक्ष मां रक्ष मां। तेरी शरणों है मां, सब तेरी शरण में, अपने चरणों की भक्ति दो। श्री राम।
राम राम सुकुमार,
राम
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 राम राम मौसी जी का स्पर्श।
राम राम दीदी, राम राम चरण स्पर्श, राम 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 बेटा।
राम आशा जी राम राम।
राम राम।
सभी का उपस्थित होने के लिए धन्यवाद। इस सत्र का हम यही समापन करें। राम राम।
राम।